So is that good? If you wonder why I was standing here like that, because Cookie's filming it. And it's going to go on our website. So I will try not to misspeak. Let me give you a little bit of background.
Get the hook and get her out of there.
The number one question is, do I have to have a Google account? The short answer is yes. If you want to own a Google Drive, you have to have a Gmail account, but it is free. You can share documents in your Drive with non-Gmail users, but they will not be able to easily edit, but they can fully view and access those documents through the links that you send out. Google is fully adaptable to an iPad or an iPhone with the apps. You can do anything on an app that you can do on a desktop. And the apps are free as well. So you go to google.com, this is their landing page, and to find a Google Drive, you would sign in to your account. On my computer, I put a shortcut on my desktop so it takes me straight there, just like I would any other landing page. With your free account, you get 15 gigabytes of free storage before they're going to ask you to upgrade, and then the upgrades start at like $10.99 a year if you get to a point that you need more storage. So everything I do with our state board is in my Google Drive. It's labeled Georgia, NAWGJ. I have folders for things that I think are pertinent, that I use regularly, that accumulate a lot of data. Everything goes right into a folder. But I think the main thing that everybody wanted to see is how I've done my document review notebook. My document review notebook is shared with all of my board members and Cookie, my RJD. So if at any time she needs to know what I'm doing, she has access, she can log in with her email address and go straight to my document control notebook, because for her, it is over here on the side where it says documents shared with me. So if someone else has shared a document with you, that's where it shows up. But if you want easier access to that, when you have a document that is shared with you, you can right click on it when you are on a menu like this and say add to my drive. Then it puts it on your drive for easy access where you can look at it without having to go through shared with me. So this is my notebook for this financial period. All of the tabs that are in our document control notebook are set up as a folder, labeled exactly like the tab would be inside my notebook. Then my budget report, there is everything that could affect my budget and financial reports. My budget is there, my receipts are there, PDF copies of my fundraisers with all of the attached receipts. But everything is right here in this notebook. When you open, this was my Judge's Cup last year, my financial report. I converted it from the Excel spreadsheet that is on our site. If you go through the import feature, when you open a spreadsheet, you can go File, Import, and import an Excel spreadsheet, and it retains all of the formatting and formulas that were present in your Excel spreadsheet, so you don't have to recreate it.
So whenever I open an Excel spreadsheet, it opens in numbers on my computer. Is it the same with numbers on Google Drive?
If the application that's native to your computer is numbers, that's where it will go. But if somebody sends you an Excel file, you can tell it to open with Google Sheets. If you're opening, you upload it into your drive, you can tell it what native program to open. And with my RJD's prior approval, I submitted it this way. No copies, no mail.
What Cookie said was that she thought that she needed to print out. She accepted this electronically, but then she printed it out and sent it, or mailed it to Patty. Patty now says she will accept these this way.
But when you do your quarterly financials, do you have a folder that has your sheet and then your PDF statements? Is that how, so you're sharing a folder with her?
I actually combine all of my receipts and everything into one PDF file sequentially. So when I do my PDF version of the report, you can see it went to 17 pages. I've PDF'd the worksheet. There's my Quicken report that shows where I pulled every line item in the report. Then all of my receipts that are duly noted for what I paid. The spreadsheet of everybody I paid a clinic registration fee for.
Your bank statements.
They're my bank statements, and because I download them from Bank of America, they're already in a PDF, and I just drag it into the folder. And then when it's time for me to do this part of it, I use a PDF editor and combine files into a single file. I use the two methods that Marion talked about earlier. I either take a picture of it with my cell phone and email it to myself, or I scan it. If it's something that's emailed to me, if you were in an email, okay, this is my shuttle receipt from the transport here and there. When you hover over an attachment in the email, you have two options. One to download, which is the down arrow. The triangle is Google Drive. You can click that triangle. When you click Save to Drive, you get Add to My Drive. I go Organize. I go Georgia, NAWGJ. This was in my travel folder, because that's where it's going to go on my financial report, and I click Move Here. Then when I go back to my drive, I will right click on it and rename it. From my corporate world, I have standard nomenclature that I use, 2017 for the year, .07.15, so that everything automatically sorts chronologically. And then I give it shuttle receipt for SJD workshop. So it's right there, the nomenclature is there, everything will sort sequentially, so when I am ready to do my third quarter financial report, I can readily look at the receipts that are right there with that nomenclature and drag them right into the same file as my financial report. You can share it one of two ways. You can share an individual file, or you can share a folder at the top level. If you give someone access here at the top level under Share, you put in the email address of who you're sharing it with. When you share that top level folder, it shares everything that is native in that folder. So as you see, my top level folder is not shared with anyone. When you go to my document notebook, because in the name of transparency, my board has access to everything I'm putting in there. You can see who it is shared with, my RJD and all of my state governing board members have view access. So I'm going to share the little people button. If you're in a document, there's share in the upper right hand corner. If you're on a folder, you have the little people icon. So I am going to give C bash. Then you add a note, adding you to this folder. And then You can click the advanced button, and this is where you can say, send copy to myself, any other notes that you might want to do, whether or not you want to notify people. If you share something with someone and do not notify them, they will not receive the link to it, so it will make it much harder for them to go out and find it. So I don't recommend skipping notification if you're adding something that you want somebody to get a notification for them to go and look at. And then you just click send. Then here, I can prevent Cookie as an editor from adding Evelyn to the folder, but I don't think that's necessary. But that is what this toggle here does. If you check it, I would prevent, she has full access to download and print, but she could not add another user or email to the document. I give view only to my board for transparency. For feasibility and functionality, Cookie has full rights to it, so that if she needs to share it with Evelyn or with Patty or someone else, it's easier than saying, I'm going to attach this to an email. You can add somebody's email right there to the document and say, here it is. You don't have to download and attach it to an email or anything like that. So that's how you share a folder. If you are in a document, this was our CPE report for 2015 and 2016. Click the share button. This is within a file, and you do the same thing. You just enter an email. You decide what kind of access you want them to have, whether they can edit, comment, or view, and then you do the notification that they're being added to the file. It is automatically saved. When you look at a document, you don't have to worry about Word crashing or an Excel file crashing. You can set how often it saves. One of the things that I truly like is that it records every edit, just like review does in a Word document when you tell it to track changes. Everything in Google automatically tracks changes. When we have a board meeting, I transfer our agenda into a separate Word document or Google Doc. The secretary in the meeting actually sits down, types the discussion in that document. At the end of the document, once we get through this, there is my board review for everyone to go in and put their name that they have reviewed and approved the minutes and date it. At the time I get all of the signatures in, I lock it down so that it can only be viewed. Nobody can any longer make any edits to the document, and then I save it. So I am the owner, so I can go into editing, but once it's locked for view, nobody else can make any edits. You can go here, and I can actually track when each of the board members open the document and put their name in it, or made comments with typo corrections, just like tracking revisions in a Word document. But it's all there, so it can totally be locked down and preserved. Yes, you can. When you are in Google Drive, you can tell your drive, your folders to be available offline and then sync.
So you can work on them in the airplane,
Mm-hmm.
and then as soon as you get off, you can sync them.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
They'll sync automatically.
They sync automatically the next time you open your drive. Yes. for that device.
Yeah, and two people can work on the same document at one time. If you shared it with somebody, you can both be on there working, you could be on the phone working.
Linda said that two people can work on one document at the same time.
Exactly, and you can see that person and where they are and what they're doing. And they can see you.
Yes.
So you could have a go-to meeting, put this up on your screen, and the whole board then can see the budget. They could verbally, because you're audio, you say, how about us taking 500 out of this and put it over here?
Somebody can click and do it, and everybody can see it at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
One of the features I like is that it makes for easy collaboration in a document. So if Linda and I are working on a program for Judges Cup, we don't have all these versions floating around in an email. You don't know which one's the most up-to-date, which one has that one typo fixed. You can both be in it, both be making changes, that it's saving automatically. You always have the most recent version that you can both work in.
You'll see all their edits in your activity. So you'll know who made what changes, and you can see it in real time if you're on at the same time together.
The edit in. So if somebody else were working in this document, it would show who, you could click on it and it will take you exactly to what they did, and it does it for every document. One other feature that Google offers that may be a little bit of an expense saving is they have Google Hangouts, which function very much like a go-to-meeting. You can share your screen with non-Google people. You simply go to, within Google, to Hangouts, and you invite people to join your Hangout, and they log in, and you'll see, if they have a camera dependent, you can have a little picture window of the of who's online, or you can tell them to close that screen and you don't have to see face to face, but it is an option that is part of Google if you're on a Wi-Fi connection. If you use this on your iPad or iPhone or whatever mobile device you have, they are fully functional. The one thing about that though, if you are on the app, it's native, it's a tablet, you have to have the app. It's not as functional if you go through a browser. If you are using a mobile device, you can view everything and you can share it. But to make an edit on a document, you have to have the correct app, not just Google Drive. So if it's a spreadsheet, you have to have downloaded Google Sheets, the app, or Google Docs, the app, not just Google Drive. But then you can still edit and type and format and do everything within that app that you can do on a desktop.
So your board members have to have the app, or they just have to have the drive?
They don't have to do anything except log in with their email. If I share a document with my board, they don't have to have any of it. They can click the link that's provided in that email and go straight into the document. But if they want to edit and comment and you're on a mobile device, you have to have the app. You don't have to have the app on a desktop because it is native. The apps are native to Google Drive.
So I use Google Forms when I'm asking about hotel rooms. If I have judges coming in, I send them a link to a form that says, do you need a hotel room for? And I list Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night. And then there's also a place for comments where I ask them who they want a room with, if they have any special requests. And they'll get, in their email, they'll get a link. They click on that, they can fill the form out on their phone and send it back to me. And then from there, I can go into Google and create a spreadsheet, and I see who needs it for Friday, who needs it for Saturday, who needs it for Sunday. It makes it easy to pair them up and how many rooms I need.
Do you have to
Do you have to do the spreadsheet, or does it do it automatically?
It does the spreadsheet automatically.
Oh,
You can indicate when you create that form to automatically send responses to a spreadsheet. So then it automatically puts it in a spreadsheet for you, then you can go to the spreadsheet, you can sort by any of your fields and group and work and do whatever you would in a spreadsheet.
I work on my computer, I keep everything, I keep my receipts, I keep folders, and then I just upload it at times when I want Cookie to see things. So I really don't use the full functionality that Kim's talking about. It's just easier for me to use Excel and not have to import it to Google Sheets. So there's only one file that I think I use in Google Sheets, and it's there so because my judges can edit it. So I keep it out there so they can always go in and edit it, and that's easy. But that's the only thing that I'm using really from a Google Sheets or Google Forms. Otherwise, it's just a sharing mechanism for me.
The good thing about this is you can log in to your account from any computer as long as you remember your password and have full access to edit or answer questions. When I became SJD, I would get calls during the day and everything was on my laptop, my personal laptop at home. I was like, well, can I call you back tonight when I have access to that? And when I transferred everything to Google, everything's right there. I can do it from my iPad. I can do it from my phone. I can do it from any secure browser. And everything's there and living. You can click help, and right there you can search pretty much the same way you do in most Microsoft products. Most of the functions, the shortcuts that you've learned with Microsoft for cut, paste, format, all of those are the same control keys that you're used to using for bold, underline, tab. Most of the commands that are native in Microsoft carry over into Google Docs. Is there a tutorial? That's a very good question. There is a YouTube channel on nothing but Google tutorials. You can search formulas, you can search format, and most of the videos that are there are anywhere from 30 seconds to sometimes 3 minutes, but they're very concise, very well done, professionally done learning channel.
Kim, thank you so much.